Meanwhile, the cops are, again, under assault all over the United States. An LAPD station in Van Nuys was vandalized and an American flag set on fire last night. Well, actually, that was over the weekend. Several protesters, according to FoxNews.com, vandalized an LAPD station Friday night, set an American flag on fire. About 50 protesters gathered in Los Angeles' Van Nuys neighborhood around 11 p.m. wearing masks and dark-colored clothing. And then spray painted the elevator saying, "Y'all gonna lose, pigs." Good times. Portland. More riots last night in Portland. Antifa rioters smashed up businesses. A riot was declared for, the 90th, 93rd, 94th straight night over in Portland. Here's a little bit of that video. Ironically, Mayor Ted Wheeler, who has spent the last several months pretending that the rioters don't exist and the looters are his friends, he was victimized by them sitting outside his condo and firing fireworks directly outside his condo. So it was not in honor of his birthday. It was in honor of them thinking that he's a stupid idiot, because he is, in fact, a stupid idiot. Okay, meanwhile, there's more happening over the weekend. There's a mob chanting "Death to America," so adopting this sort of language from Iran, which is great. In Oakland on Sunday night, all of this seems like this is going really well. And Joe Biden condemning white nationalists will probably solve it. Here is the footage from Oakland on Sunday night. I feel like that we should just bring them to the table. All we have to do to bring these folks to the table is presumably mouth some slogans about systemic racism in the United States. Probably that's the solution. We can expect that there will be some violence tonight in Los Angeles. After all, protesters began to gather after LA sheriff's deputies shot a black man during a confrontation. He punched a police officer and also had a handgun, by the way. I know that that's a sub-headline, but we are supposed to pretend that the only thing that matters is the color of the people as opposed to the activity of the people. According to ABC News, protesters gathered in South LA Monday night after a Los Angeles sheriff's deputy shot and killed a black man who they say had a handgun and was fighting with them. The shooting occurred Monday afternoon after two deputies pulled over a man who was riding a bicycle in violation of vehicle laws. According to Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Brandon Dean, the man then got off the bike and ran off, and deputies ran him down because when you resist arrest, they'll run you down, right? You know, when you get pulled over for a bicycle violation, probably should just take the ticket. According to Dean, our suspect was holding some items of clothing in his hands, punched one of the officers in the face, and then dropped the items in his hands. The deputies noticed that inside the clothing items he dropped was a black semi-automatic handgun, at which time a deputy-involved shooting occurred. The suspect was struck several times. Both officers fired their weapons. Deputies recovered the handgun the man had been carrying. The investigation is currently ongoing. And Black Lives Matter LA started protests last night. Thank God they remained mostly peaceful. And when I say mostly peaceful, I didn't see any elements of violence. It didn't stop racial agitators like Tariq Nasheed online from trying to claim that certain incidents were in fact acts of violence that were connected with all of this. They were not. There's a car that was driven into a shoe store. It had on Melrose. It had literally nothing to do with this, as far as we are aware. It was unconnected to it didn't stop Tariq Nasheed from tweeting that out. Also, Tariq Nasheed tweeted out that a white Hispanic, I'm not kidding you, white Hispanic was responsible for the shooting. White Hispanic, basically now anybody who is bad can be categorized as white. Okay, the police officer in this case was, in fact, Hispanic. But apparently he's a white Hispanic because everybody who is bad is white, according to the racial radicals. Now, you can tell why all of this is happening. The reason that all of this is happening and the reason that the Biden campaign is responding is because they are concerned that there's going to be movement in the polls. In fact, there's an Emerson poll out today that shows Biden up just 2 points. People are treating this as an outlier poll, but Emerson is, in fact, a good polling outfit. That is a wildly disparate poll from the Morning Consult poll that came out showing Biden still up 8 nationally and up large in every major swing state. Which poll do you believe? Well, I mean, I tend to believe the poll that shows a tightening of the race because historically, after conventions, things tighten. And 2, because I think everybody has the gut level feeling that the riots and the violence in America's major cities are not going to play well for the Democrats. Did you know that every like on this video creates one additional leftist tier? Don't ask me why. That's called science. To take advantage of this amazing opportunity, hit the like button.